You know, we're all told to set boundaries, right? But what does that even mean anymore? Today, we're going to ditch that super vague advice for a much more powerful and way more precise framework for understanding our relationships. Let's get into it.
We all know the drill. It's kind of the go-to advice for everything. Set them, maintain them, respect them. It's a concept we're all super familiar with, and for good reason. But there's a pretty big problem.
The word boundary has come to mean basically everything, you know? From not answering work emails after 6 p.m. to dealing with really complex family stuff. And because it means everything, it's kind of lost its punch. It's not really a functional framework anymore. It's just a word.
So what if we could replace that fuzzy term with a concept from, of all places, computational neuroscience? Something that isn't just a suggestion, but an actual mathematical description of what it even means to exist.
So let's talk about something called the Markov blanket. Now, this isn't some therapeutic goal you have to, strive for. It's a fact of your existence. It's a description of any self-organizing system, from a single cell to you to the relationship itself.
Okay, so what is it? Well, officially, a Markov blanket is the boundary that makes something a something, distinct from just the random soup of its environment. Think about it. Your skin is a literal Markov blanket. It separates all your internal biology from the outside world.
Now here's where it gets really cool. A blanket is not a wall. A wall is rigid, it's defensive, it's static, it just blocks everything. A membrane, which is what a blanket really is dynamic, it's intelligent, it's alive, it selectively filters information.
And this membrane works in two directions. First, you have your sensory states. These are the inputs. In a relationship, that's what your partner says, their tone of voice, their actions. Second, you have the active states. Those are the outputs. That's what you say, what you do, how you show up. The blanket is that living, breathing interface between the two.
Okay, so let's pull this out of the abstract and into like a random Tuesday night with your partner. Because every single relationship as a system has its own shared blanket. And this is where most of our suffering actually comes from.
So the most crucial thing to get is this. We have to be able to tell the difference between signal and noise. Inside the blanket, that's the signal. That's your partner's direct communication, their needs, their behavior. This is the legit data the relationship should be running on. Outside the blanket is, well, everything else. Your parents' marriage, social media, your friends' advice, all of that, that's just noise.
Let's make this super concrete with a classic scenario, right? The well-meaning but, let's say, opinionated mother-in-law. This is a perfect example of what happens when that shared blanket gets breached.
So here's how it goes down. An external opinion gets expressed. Your partner then carries it into the relationship, and suddenly, boom, it's inside your shared blanket. But it doesn't belong there, so it generates what scientists call prediction errors. It's that mismatch, that feeling of, wait, something's wrong here. It's like an internal alarm bell going off. And before you know it, you end up fighting about how to load the dishwasher, but you're really fighting about the external opinion that snuck inside.
And this just nails the core insight. The solution isn't to argue with your mother-in-law. You can't win that game, because external opinions are literally infinite. The real fix is to manage the blanket itself, to recognize that the signal is coming from the outside and it just doesn't belong in your system.
The mother-in-law thing is kind of an obvious one, though. But what about the signals that have been breaking through your blanket for so long you don't even notice them anymore? These are often the most disruptive ones.
Take the relationship escalator. You know what I'm talking about. That cultural script that says a relationship has to follow a certain path. Dating, moving in, marriage, kids. It's a totally external model. So when you feel like you're behind schedule, that pressure isn't coming from inside your relationship. It's an external script that has breached your blanket.
Or think about social media. I mean, its entire business model is based on generating prediction error in you. When you see some perfectly curated anniversary post, and you feel that little pang of doubt about your own relationship, that's an external algorithm reaching through your blanket and creating conflict with data that has nothing to do with your actual reality. And maybe the sneakiest of all are your own past experiences. A prediction that your new partner will leave you just because an ex cheated on you might feel like it's about your current relationship. But it's not. It's an old model from a totally different external system, and it's just wreaking havoc inside your new one.
So if we're trying to manage this membrane, how do we actually do it effectively? Well, to answer that, we need one more layer of understanding, and it comes from a psychoanalyst named D.W. Winnicott.
Winnicott called this transitional space, and a healthy relationship lives right here.
It's not totally inside you, and it's not totally outside you. It's in the overlap, that space in between. This is the space where your partner's experience is a valid signal you can pick up on, but you don't have to absorb it into your own internal state. Their experience is real to you, but it doesn't have to become your experience.
This slide shows the difference perfectly. In enmeshment, that membrane is basically dissolved. Your partner's stress instantly becomes your stress. Chaos. In avoidance, the membrane is a rigid wall. Their stress just bounces off. There's zero connection. Isolation. But with a healthy, functioning membrane, you are connected, but you're distinct.
And that's the sweet spot. That's the goal. You can hold your partner's anger or their sadness without it completely rewriting your own internal state. You can be fully present with them in that transitional space, processing their signals without letting that signal become a crisis for you. You're overlapping, but you're not merged.
Okay, so how do we actually put this into practice? It really comes down to a simple, in-the-moment act of filtering. It's like a mantra you can use on the fly.
That's the phrase. That's the whole practice. When you feel that external noise trying to get in, the move isn't to react. It's just to recognize. You just name it. This is from the other side of the blanket. You can see it, you can perceive it, but you don't have to process it. So the next time you feel that familiar tension start to rise, or you find yourself comparing your life to someone else's, or you feel that pressure from some cultural script, just pause and ask yourself one simple question.
Is this feeling coming from the actual data of my relationship, from the person right here with me? Or is it coming from the outside? In our relationships, that distinction, well, it's everything. Because just correctly identifying where a feeling is coming from is the first and most important step to deciding what to do about it.